Happy Apocalypse, everybody. This episode is brought to you by Netflix. For a free 30-day trial, head over to netflix.com/GameBreakerTV. Hopefully it wasn't the end of the world and you're watching this and you can actually go over and sign up for Netflix if you're watching this. If not, aliens. GameBreaker TV. What's up, zombie apocalypse? Happy Apocalypse Day. What's up, guys? Legendary. I'm Gary again. This is GameBreaker TV, episode 107. We're going out at 107 for our last show before the world explodes. I'm Gary again. Coming up tonight, we've got some more info on character model updates and 5.2 rep improvements. Heroic Elite Protectors have fallen, but there's more to the story than you may think, and the black market auction house finally gets some unique items. None of that matters, though, because, well, you're probably not watching this because the world is over and blown up and it's all over. All that more. All right, but first, of course, we're WoW Insider GameBreaker TV, currently taking refuge in her secret underground library of safety. Olivia D. Grace.
The books will insulate me from the apocalypse.
Well, if it's radiation, maybe you have a good chance. You have a good chance if it's radiation.
Yeah, I've got plenty of reading material.
Everyone knows that zombies can't read, so
exactly, they'll be put off.
It's like kryptonite. From the weekly Mario Just the Tip and all those other things, he's prepared by the he prepared for the apocalypse by just stocking up on hair gel. I see. Good.
Gotta keep my priorities straight.
Equal protection, books and hair.
Yeah, zombies, they also lose hair, so I figure if I have better hair than they do,
you win?
Maybe they just don't like the taste. Maybe they won't eat my brains.
There you go.
Maybe that's, yeah.
I've decided to do the show without shoes on because I figure what a better way to go out at the apocalypse with no shoes and a beer. So, how many shows today, like radio shows and stuff? How many shows do you think started with "It's the end of the world as we know it"?
All of them.
Oh my lord! Would you guys have shot me if I started the show with that? Because it's like,
yes.
Thanks. Now Bieber was singing.
Well, I mean, it's the end of the world. You might as well go out quick.
Mine is
doing you a favor, man.
It's like those films where you want to shoot your friends, but they're zombies. So you just like, and it's all good. It's like The Walking Dead,
which is a fantastic game, by the way. Talking about it before a show. Josh Allen, you got to try it. I got Olivia to try it. It's great. I'm a huge fan of, like, when I was a kid with the Choose Your Own Adventure books, you know, go north, turn to page. It's nothing like that really, but it's kind of like a modern day Choose Your Own Adventure book because it's not really hard. Like, there's nothing hard about the game. It's like swipe your finger, tap a couple times. Like, it's almost like an interactive book that you just, you know, kind of make choices and do stuff. But oh my God.
Man, I used to love real-time strategy games. This is nothing like those at all.
Nothing like those. Nothing like those. But tell me when you get it. You play it, Olivia. Tell me when you get to episode 2. Tell me if when you're chopping the guy's leg off, you're not hitting the button going like, ah! And it's like they make you do it like 3 too many times. You're just like, haven't I gotten through this leg? Seriously, haven't I? I'm trying to prepare for the apocalypse because if something happens, I need to know how to chop legs off. If something happens, you know.
Yeah, Walking Dead is a good way to prepare for the apocalypse. Always pick up any shotgun you see.
I'll eat myself a leg. I don't care. Roast that bad boy up.
Nice. Christmas dinner.
Alrighty, let's talk about some World of Warcraft. I guess we're just doing a show for like the live viewers tonight since it's all done by the time, well, I guess you can't even watch. I don't even know. It's all confusing. Just thinking about the future of just not existing anymore. All right. Last week's actually been pretty quiet. Not a ton of news. I guess, we got things like, the apocalypse coming up. I guess we just threw in the towel. Just figured like, screw it. Nothing really to update. It's going to be all over. But not Blizzard. Of course, they're hard at work. So first up, late Monday night, the Chinese guild Wings of Aurora claimed the first world kill of heroic elite protectors of the Endless. First of all, who are these guys?
The protectors. Okay, so protectors of
Wings
the Endless.
Aurora.
Oh, Wings of the Aurora. Oh, they're a Chinese guild. That's about all I know about them.
Out of nowhere. Just
all we
world
got.
first.
Yeah.
So
They may be like, I can't keep up with what happens like in terms of like what the top guilds are doing in China because I can't speak the language. It may be another guild or something like that because that happens from time to time. Like sometimes guilds will change their names. Sometimes the names of guilds get mistranslated, so we don't know who is who. But yeah, I that's all I know is that they're a Chinese guild.
okay,
And
so Wings
they
of
got world
Pooper
first.
Scooper, which is the official name. You got it messed up in translation. It wasn't Aurora. It's
Sorry.
Pooper Scooper.
Sorry.
So if you guys are unfamiliar with the encounter, Protectors of the Endless, it has an alternate elite mode that just involves killing them in more difficult order, which can be done on heroic as well as normal. And not only is it just an extremely difficult encounter, it also drops the best loot in tier at item level 516, so 516. How does this further give us some comparison? How does this compare to Heroic Shah in difficulty?
I mean, I think it ranks as a higher difficulty. It was something that like nobody was really messing with until after they cleared Heroic Shah because everybody wanted to get the Heroic Shah kill first. So it's kind of a question of is this the most difficult fight in the tier, or is Shah of Fear the most difficult? I think now post hotfix, which we're going to talk about in a little bit, but I think now it probably ranks as less difficult than Shah of Fear. But before, I think it was actually more difficult.
But now the big question is like we've been saying that Method was first to clear tier 14, but is it truly fully a real clear if you haven't taken down heroic elite protectors?
Well, that's kind of the interesting thing about all this too, is like everybody was basically calling like Method world first clear tier 14, yeah, and like we were calling it that too because it's kind of just what everybody was saying. It's like a question of which one do we actually consider to be the final boss in the tier.
It's kind of like when George Bush won the presidency. Somebody just stood up and was like, "He won!" They were like, "Oh, he won! He won! Oh, okay, he won." Everybody just went with it.
Good.
He
Glad
won.
that's taken care of. All right,
Yeah.
let's not double check any of our numbers, Florida.
Nah, who cares about voting? Somebody yelled he won. Go for it.
Yeah.
Thanks, Fox News.
But yeah, it's
Do you know his
definitely
cousin?
interesting
Do you know his
to look
cousin?
at.
Do you know? I'm going to cut you off here. Do you know if George Bush's cousin was the guy who worked at the desk at Fox News when he won, and he's the guy who just stood up at Fox News before anybody really knew who won? He just stood up in the newsroom and started yelling, "George Bush won." That's a true story. I'm not making that up. I'm
That's
completely
funny.
not making that up. I worked at Fox News
don't
2
doubt
years
it.
later.
I don't
I
doubt
worked there.
it.
I worked there not too long after that, so I heard that story. That's an absolutely true story. That's where it came from. Just yelling. So I'm just gonna start yelling. Game Breaker has $50 million, and I guess we do. Sorry.
Yeah.
All right,
Congrats.
wings of Pooper Scooper. Go back.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying it's been interesting to look at how progression has gone through this tier because it has kind of been something where nobody really cared about protectors at the time. Everyone was like, yeah, it's cleared. Shah of Fear is dead. I mean, there's still this other boss that nobody's killed yet, but Shah of Fear is dead. That's the final boss. I don't know. It's just been interesting how people have been sort of reacting to it.
Is it something to do with the fact that you would have had to kind of you couldn't have done it in one fell swoop? I suppose you could have done the Protectors of the Endless in the elite way the first time you did them, but then wouldn't you have had to wait for a reset and go back and try? You would have had to go back and try again, wouldn't you? This doesn't reappear at the end of the raid.
I am confused.
It's not the last boss in the actual raid, Terrace of Endless
Right.
Spring. So you'd have had to wait for a reset, then go back in and do it. Is that?
I don't know why you would have had to wait for a reset.
Okay, maybe I've got this mixed up.
So you can do them on heroic elite mode and then clear the rest of the instance.
Yeah, that's what I mean. But people probably wouldn't have done it that way when they were world first racing, because they would have just done it the easy way to get the boss down faster. So the likelihood of anyone doing it the elite method the first time around is pretty slim.
Ah, that makes sense. Now,
I guess they'd have had to wait for a reset to go back and do it again.
Yes.
That's where I'm coming from.
She's technically correct.
Explaining myself poorly.
It's all right. It's all over with. Don't worry about it. Nobody's gonna watch this episode anyway. We're all dust at this point. So there's a lot more going on to this story. It gets actually more and more interesting. So, like we said, Wings of Aurora is a Chinese guild, which means that they actually get higher item level loot on 25-man. So not only is the heroic elite gear, higher level, it's actually it's 5 to 24 for them, right?
Mm-hmm.
It also means that they were wearing higher item level gear going into this raid. So now there's a 10% increase to 25-man bosses. They counter it with a 10% increase to the 25-man boss's health and damage to try and offset that. But what do you guys think here? I mean, like, is this really sort of the same encounter that the North American and the EU guilds are up against, or?
It's tough to really say that. It's tough to say that, even though, I mean, yeah, they had the 10% health and damage increase on the bosses to counteract the extra item level on the gear, but things don't just naturally work out that way. It's not like, oh, the bosses have more health and damage, so that offsets how the gear works. So I think it's probably very, very similar, and I'm sure there's not as big of a difference as what you might see even between like 10 and 25 man, but it's still different. It's still a different encounter. They killed the boss under different circumstances. So yeah, I would absolutely say, sure, maybe it was the first kill in the world, but saying that they did this before everybody else did this might not be exactly the same. You're kind of comparing apples to oranges a little bit.
True, but like, can we really just take that away from them and actually say, like, oh, they didn't get the world first kill? It's not their fault that they play a slightly different altered game by Blizzard. But there are people who are there are people who are kind of on that side of the fence going like, well, it's not really technically, they're sort of not considering it like, the world first kill because of the disparity between North America and EU. I don't think that's fair.
No, I think it's fair to say it's the world first kill. It's just something that you have to kind of caveat and then look at, like, for example, look at what, like, you have to then figure out, okay, who got the first US EU kill or NAEU kill, who got the first kill of that. But and I actually don't know who got the first kill there, because it's kind of weird. WoW Progress isn't actually reporting heroic elite protectors at all. There's like an achievement assigned with it, but they're not reporting it at all. So I don't actually know who got that kill. Actually, maybe Guildox has it. I have to check that. But yeah, I think it's just important to recognize that looking at what Wings of Aurora did versus what someone like Method or Blood Legion or Paragon or whoever else did, it is kind of a different thing.
Olivia, now you're not from Germany, you're from the EU. So
I am from the EU. I'm not from Germany, that's true. I'm from England.
What where do you stand on this? Would you consider this a world first?
I mean, if it's actually genuinely the first time a guild in the world has killed this boss, that kind of is a bit of a tick in the box as far as I'm concerned. I do definitely think that Josh has a really good point about the higher item level. Like, I don't think you can say, oh yeah, we've got this higher item level, but we totally increase the boss health by 10%, and that makes everything exactly the same for guilds the world over. I don't think it works quite like that. And I mean, the sort of reasoning behind it is the different way in which these guys play these raids, and they're setting it up that way to compensate. The bosses are harder, the loot's higher level, and the way that these guys play the game is quite different to how we play it in America and in the EU. And they're much more used to playing 25-man. I mean, from my understanding of it,
is that how they play in Germany?
25-man is huge.
Is that how they played in Germany?
In Deutschland spielen wir normalerweise 10-man. No, I don't know how they play it in Germany. I live in England. Okay.
The EU.
The EU. I'm from the EU.
So just try to get you to do that. So like now people will do voice analysis, trying to figure out.
Oh, he's just trying to record me so you could compare the little thing to certain Germans on our channels.
He's not from Germany.
He's not from
Sorry,
Germany.
he's from the EU.
He's from the EU.
Sorry.
There's even more drama surrounding this kiss kill. So there was actually a hotfix that nerfed the fight right before they got the kill. So part of the encounter on heroic mode is that there's a damage over time effect. And before the hotfix, it would become stronger and stronger as the fight went on. And the hotfix removed that. So it was basically they changed it to the damage being the exact same thing all the way through. It didn't increase as time went on. And pretty much immediately, as soon as the hotfix hit, Wings of Aurora got their kill. And a couple other top guilds really quickly after also followed them with the kill. The thing is, now this is where I think it gets really controversial. Is like, they were so close to killing it right before the hotfix actually went out. They had a 6% wipe and they were improving time and time again. So the question is like, did they really need a hotfix? Because it sounded like they were just like, they were
on the verge already.
They were on the verge of already doing this with it in place. It sounds like it was totally killable.
Yeah, I think looking at heroic elite protectors here, it was definitely something that, and we're still relatively early in the tier. Like, I don't want to say that we have like another 8 months left of tier 14 or something. It's probably only going to be like 3 or 4 months at this point. But we're still early enough on in the tier that I felt like that wasn't really necessary. Like, they didn't really need to nerf heroic elite protectors at this point.
You think it was a mistake?
I don't necessarily think it was a mistake.
I mean, it could have been a nerf. Maybe I'm grasping at straws, but maybe it was a nerf intended for like the non-elite version, and maybe just kind of like.
That's what I'm thinking as well. Because if they wanted to nerf heroic elite version, and they would say, okay, well, we just want to make the heroic elite version easier, then they would have done something to, like, just because the way the fight works, they would have done something to phase 3 Protector Sulan or whatever his name is. I don't remember exactly what his name, but they would have done. There's ways to there's things that they could have adjusted about the encounter to nerf just the heroic elite version of it. But instead, what they did was they nerfed something that affects the entire fight on heroic mode. So I kind of think it was something that they did because maybe they were seeing a whole lot of people who were like clearing Heart of Fear on heroic and then just having a lot of trouble doing anything in heroic Terrace of Endless Spring, which that's something else that we've noticed as well, is that we were looking a while back and we said there were like no guilds with anything down in at least in the US in 10-man. There were no guilds with anything down in heroic 10-man Terrace for a while in 10-man, and maybe that's what it was. Maybe they wanted to do a nerf to protectors to heroic protectors just in general to make heroic protectors easier, which is something that they killed like a month ago. Like all the top guilds killed a month ago at this point. So that's my theory, is that it wasn't specifically targeted at heroic elite. It was targeted at just regular heroic. It's just they happened to have kind of robbed several of the top guilds of a pre-nerf kill in the process. So maybe wait another 4 hours before doing that next time. That'd be great.
Yeah, totally. Don't just leap in and nerf something which people are at like 6% wipes on. I mean, it's not like the, oh my gosh, Grand Vizier Zorlok at the beginning of the Heart of Fear, where people were dying after the first, like, barely able to get into the final phase. It wasn't like that. And if they're getting to 6% each time, then just leave it alone, or maybe just wait a week.
Are you buying that, Olivia? Are you buying that it may have been a mistake?
Yeah, I think that's a really sound
change number
theory,
on column D instead of column E.
Yeah, someone put a 0 where they should have put a 1. They probably like accidentally hotfixed gunship while they were at it.
Yeah, someone go check gunship, make sure that still works.
Yeah,
that's how it works, right? Switching column D with column E.
Yeah, every once in a while, man, someone does insert cell instead of insert row, and it just ruins everything. Whole game.
Yeah, it just says value all down the left-hand side, and then it's ref on the next page.
Kind of a bummer. I mean, it's kind of a little bit of a bummer that this hit at 6%. So
yeah,
I don't know.
Well, it is. especially since seeing like there were a lot of guilds that were really really close to the kill. Like obviously Wings of Aurora, 6% wipe, really really close to the kill. There was a lot of other guilds that were really close as well. And then this hotfix went out, and it was just pretty much immediately everybody killed it. Like, well, not everybody obviously, but like 10 or so guilds just pretty much immediately got a kill as soon as this hotfix went in. So it's like, obviously, the fight suddenly became not easy, but a lot easier than it was before. And all these guilds just immediately get kills, and it was actually a really good race before then. So yeah, just something that I think, they need to be a little bit more mindful of what all is being affected when they apply hotfixes like that.
Headline tomorrow morning: Blizzard ruined the race. That's it. Blizzard ruined the race.
I reckon they just wanted to make sure people got the kill in. Chat room says they wanted to make sure people got the kill in before the world ended.
Oh, that's what it was. Oh, yeah, it makes complete sense. Okay, they didn't ruin the race. Okay, gotcha. All right, let's move on. We've actually got some more details about what's going on with Rep and Lesser Charms in 5.2. Dratzel posted on the European forums by saying the developers are currently planning to include bonus reputation that can be earned, get this, via scenarios and dungeons.
Woohoo!
Well, we already knew that something like this was in the works. It sounds like whatever it is will be specific to dungeons and scenarios. I mean, how do you guys feel about this? It seems like most people really aren't spending a ton of time in either of those right now. Maybe that's the point. I don't know.
But yeah, I would say it's definitely something to give more incentive to people to go back into the dungeons and scenarios. Because, like, Cataclysm, everybody ran dungeons, pretty much. Like, as long as you still had a use for Valor, you were still running dungeons, because that was the best way to get Valor, at least to cap out. So, well, I say that's the best way to get Valor to cap out, but you could cap out from raids at some point, everybody was running dungeons. And now it's just kind of like, all right, well, I did the dungeons and got the gear. I did one scenario to finish up Arena of Annihilation and get my two-hander.
Your full 6-3 weapon.
That's it. That's all I've done for scenarios and for dungeons. So I'm just not going to do those anymore. So yeah, that seems like a good way to give some incentive back to going and doing this other stuff.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's like you can basically cap out your. Well, you can all but cap out your Valor through raiding. You can get 640 Valor points a week through raiding, I believe. And then, I don't know, if you're... I guess it depends on how you sort of are playing the game at the moment. If you're playing the game like I'm playing the game, which is probably not that many people, like you've got no reason at all to go back into dungeons. And I've done each scenario once or twice just because I wanted to see the content. But they don't give anything that's incentivizing people who play the game like I do, who don't do the dailies, who gear via PvP and don't have anything to do with their Valor points up until the item upgrade thing appeared. And then have nothing to spend their Valor points upgrading because all of their raiding gear is also PvP gear. And those people have no real incentive to go back into dailies. I mean, I've just been absolutely... taking out the element of the incentive to go back into this content, I've been absolutely crying out for this since this expansion arrived. Like, make it more viable to earn reputation via dailies. Make it a better way to do it. Don't take it away from people who don't like doing the quests altogether. Just let us earn a little bit via dungeons. I will chain run dungeons until I burn out, and then I will get that rep. And it might take me 6 months, or it might take me 3 days from dailies. But let me do it. Let me be the stupid person who refuses to do dailies. Let me be that idiot, Blizzard. Love ya.
Do you think love ya? Do you think there should have been some sort of rep bonus from raiding?
I think that would probably be they'll probably get a little bit too excited on the whole double dipping thing right there, given that it's the thing that awards the best gear currently for PvE, and it also awards Valor for it to also award rep. People are always going to be raiding. There's no incentivization to go back into raids, I guess.
Yeah,
I think Josh, the big raider.
I think raiders have the tendency to ask for everything to be tied to just one type of content, and then complain that It's the only type of content there is to do in the game. I mean, if you look at the end of Cataclysm, where pretty much all there was to do for a raider was Dragon Soul, and especially once you had it on farm, it only took like a couple of hours to clear the thing. And then we wouldn't log in for anything other than Dragon Soul, and then we would complain that there was nothing to do other than, like, everybody goes, well, I really only log in for raiding anymore. I only play this game for 6 hours a month. I'm just going to cancel my subscription fee because I'm only playing the game for this many hours a month. There's no reason for me to play anymore. I think raiders, we have the tendency to say we want everything to just be this one thing and then complain when that one thing is everything.
Welcome to the internet, Josh Allen. Welcome to the
can't
internet.
Win, can they?
Yeah. I think it's definitely fair to have to do something outside of raiding, and that looking at it from a top-down perspective, I might complain about it. Like, I'll complain about having to do dailies, but having the dailies in there, like, I have to do them for my lesser charms, but having them there to do at least gives me something else to do throughout the week. I may not necessarily be always that excited about it, but if it wasn't there, then I would just be logging in for raids and get really bored. So, yeah.
I think it's good as well for the thing that is that Blizzard are pushing people back into doing is actually benefiting. If they do go ahead with this plan to add rep from scenarios and dungeons, that actually benefits more people than the dailies do, in a way, if you look at it in a slightly sort of roundabout way. So people who are, going in as tank, like all of my 90s are tanks and healers. I don't have any 90 DPSs yet because I'd have to quest to level them. And I don't like questing very much, so I don't do that. So those people, like, I would then be pushed back into doing dungeons and scenarios with my level 90 tanks and healers. I like to think I'm a relatively competent player. I like to think I know the dungeons and the scenarios fairly well. And it's good for everyone if players who are geared, relatively competent, kind of know what they're doing, are back in the dungeons and back in the scenarios, rather than just sitting in towns waiting for raids to happen. That's a good thing in my book.
The other thing they brought up is that they are adding another way to get a hold of lesser charms. I mean, lucky lesser charms. But you're probably not going to
delicious.
Delicious. You're probably not. None of us were expecting this. I don't think anybody was expecting this. The developers are planning to let you have a chance to earn the lesser lucky charms of good fortune through pet battles. Basically, if you win, you'll have a chance of receiving charms based on your pet level. That's right, lesser charms from pet battles. The floor is yours, Olivia. What do you think? I mean, I'm starting to think pet battles might be a little more important than we all thought of. Just, hey, it's just a little mini game over on the side, not a big deal. Just, do it when you can. It's fun.
When I read this, I was just, idly scanning the forums as I do, looking for news, and I read the first half. I was like, oh, cool, rep tab bars. I read the second half. I was like, wait, what? What? He said, like, okay, he said, what? About to be lesser charms? I was like, I haven't had my coffee yet. I've obviously got to read this again. And I went back, I was like, okay, they just said, like, getting something that's useful for raiding via pet battles. What? This is meant to be the side game that has literally no effect whatsoever on your character.
What is this madness? Blizzard, what is this EU madness?
Hey, don't blame it on the EU.
I'll blame it on the EU. No, seriously, like, everybody does this little mini game.
It's EU forums.
Josh, what do you think of this?
I actually think this is brilliant. I know a lot of people are looking at this and going, that's ridiculous. Why would they make lesser? Now I have to do pet battles too. No, here's the thing. As long as they set it up so that it's less effective to get the lesser charms through pet battles than through dailies. Whichever one is most effective will still be the go-to method for getting your lesser charms. So as long as it's still more effective or more reliable or whatever to get the lesser charms through dailies, then pet battles are still the side content. It doesn't become mandatory at that point. As long as the dailies remain the mandatory thing, right? As long as it's better to get them through dailies, then pet battles do not become mandatory. But here's the thing. Right now, lots of people are enjoying pet battles. most of the people who are not enjoying pet battles at the moment, who aren't doing pet battles, are the raiders, because we're having to spend so much time in game already doing dailies and obviously raiding on top of that, and all the other things that we have to do just to prepare for raiding. So the hardcore raiders right now, we can't really afford to spend any time on pet battles at the moment. So by allowing us to get lesser charms through pet battles, I can do pet battles finally! I have not had any time at all to even look at pet battles. But now that it's something that's not a total waste of time for me, I mean, obviously having fun is never a waste of time, but at the moment it's something that I can't afford to spend any time on. So now that they're giving me some reason to actually do this, I can do it. It actually allows me to do this content at this point. There's no time.
You can sit online for 5 hours doing pet battles and be like, I'm totally doing it for my lesser charms. What is your problem? This is a valid gameplay element right here.
And the big question now is going to be, if it's a decent way to actually earn lesser charms, is it going to become sort of mandatory for raiders to basically do pet battles?
It's going to still be one or the other. Like, it's not going to be any more mandatory under any circumstances. It's not going to be any more mandatory than dailies are right now. I think a lot of raiders would actually prefer that of the two, that pet battles be the mandatory one. But I think, like I said, as long as where did my thought train go on that one? As long as the dailies are still the more effective way to get the lesser charms, which it sounds like that will be the case, because it's a chance of receiving charms based on your pet level. So it sounds like dailies are going to at least be more reliable way of getting the lesser charms, because okay, I'm going to go do this, and then I'm going to get my 2 lesser charms as a result. As long as that's the case, then it still is going to. It doesn't really change anything about the status quo. It doesn't suddenly force people into other content. It just allows raiders to do this other content because it's now something that we have time for, because it takes the place of doing dailies.
Yeah.
Olivia, I have to ask this. So he also mentioned that players below level 90 will actually start earning XP from pet
I can't
battles.
hear you past this thing that's in front of you.
I don't know what you're talking about. Players below level 90 will actually start earning experience points from pet battles. How do you feel about that? I mean, you're actually going to be able to level from pet battling.
I feel that I'm okay with that, actually. I was really blown away by the lesser charms through pet battles thing, but I was totally fine with the leveling. I had no problem with that at all. That seemed like a good idea. It's one of those sort of other things that you do outside of the sideline of it, and like, I don't know, archaeology or etc. etc. You have other little bits and bobs you can get from it, and it grants XP. No problem at all. Sounds good.
Yeah,
Alan.
I actually think of the two, honestly, I actually think that the low-level players earning XP from pet battles is actually the more controversial change of the two. Like, giving us another way to get lesser charms, and especially doing it in a way that gets us out into the world, because that was kind of the other thing that people wanted to figure out is if they give us lesser charms from, like, scenarios, for example, then we're just queuing up for things constantly again. This way, we do actually have to go out into the world and find the pet battles, and we're out and exploring and everything. So that's cool. It's something to do out in the world. I think the lesser charms from pet battles thing, that just kind of fits. It's the puzzle piece that slides in that just fills all the right holes in all the right places. The XP from pet battles thing, that definitely makes me wonder a little bit. Like, is that something that they just put there because it's like, well, we can't give them lesser charms because they can't use them because they're not max levels, so maybe we'll give them XP instead? Maybe that's what it is, or maybe it's just because, like, because technically there are points where you need to have leveled in order to continue doing pet battles. Maybe they just wanted to make it so that you get a little, like, you don't feel like you're totally wasting your time doing a pet battle that's at your level when, or that's below your level, when you need to be getting higher levels in order to go on to the tougher and tougher pets to actually battle out in the world. I don't know. It just seems a bit, that one's a bit weirder to me than the lesser charms thing.
Yes, the
Which just
lucky
seems to be
charms.
like, They're always after me lesser charms. But it just seemed to be like if you can level via archaeology, I mean, someone said in chat room right now, which is a good point, like, oh, I just leveled my character purely through pet battles, and this isn't WoW. I mean, that sort of made me follow on to think, oh, that isn't WoW, that isn't proper gameplay. But
isn't
nor's archaeology, nor's herbalism.
Yeah, I mean, didn't they say like what a big point with the push they want to do is they want people to be able to play the game the way they want to play it, however they want to play it, and there's a viable way to just play the game however what people like, you'll be able to progress and play the game.
Yeah, that's how it seems to me. Like I at least give me options in what I'm going. Like I was saying earlier, if you left it up to the raiders, everything would come from raiding and everyone would only play like 2 hours a week. But I think splitting it up into at least giving us different options, choose which of these methods to get your mandatory thing for raiding is better than this is the thing you have to do. It's mandatory that you do exactly this for raiding.
Definitely, and I think that's one of the things that certainly people like me have objected to with the dailies is like it's fine to say, here's this thing that you got to have for raiding, and here are the ways, the more than one way that you can get it. If you have to say, here's this thing that you have for raiding, and this is the single method by which you get it, that's not quite so much fun.
All right, so we also got a new quick update on character models. Character models. Everybody's waiting for character models. So Dratzel posted on the forum and said the development team is working on new character models for the vanilla races. Unfortunately, we don't have an estimate yet on when they will be available. So, sounds like vanilla is it. What do you guys think? No love for the Blood Elves, no love for the Draenei. Did they just not need an update? Or do you think we'll just get those guys on round 2?
I don't think they need an update as much as the vanilla models. That's what I'm going to say.
You think they're okay?
I think they're pretty. I think the Draenei and this is
Blood Elves, or
I think the Draenei and the Blood Elves are certainly the ladies are the pretty ones. Like they're the pretty characters in the game. The males, less so perhaps, but I think if you compare those models to the vanilla models definitely need an update more than the Draenei and the Blood Elves. That's just my opinion. This is always going to be one of those subjective things which people can't agree on.
There's nothing prettier in the game than a Blood Elf male.
They're a little. they kind of remind me just like a little. Accurate. It's a little like 1970s David Bowie. Just a little androgynous.
Yeah.
Or just put a little makeup
I think
on.
As a person who plays a Blood Elf, as my main character, I really want that model to get an update because there's so many little things. Why do Blood Elf? I play a female character, a Blood Elf female. My feet are as big as my head. How has no one ever noticed this? It drives me crazy. My feet are like these big old like clown shoes.
Oh, but come on, dude! Everybody, look at the human's hands.
I know they're like oven.
Oh yeah, everything. Like obviously the vanilla races need an update, but man, I think the Blood Elves need one too. Draenei never really bothered me too much, but I don't play one, so it's probably just a matter of not having.
Screw them. I don't really care.
Yeah, I don't play a Draenei, so I don't care about them.
Yeah, whatever, Draenei.
I just don't have as much direct experience with them.
We're totally not biased on this show.
And the two-handers. Why are my two-handers always so small? My corrupted Ashbringer should be like 5 times as big as it is. I need like natural corrupted Ashbringer enhancement or something.
So Olivia, you're thinking you're just fine, no problem. I'll ask you this.
I made a dwarf.
Let's say we only see
my characters.
If they only roll out with vanilla. I mean, would you expect that they're gonna update Burning Crusade races later on?
I would guess that they will come in later. It'll be a little while later on, but they'll come in. It's just that they've realized that the dwarf was the character model that most urgently required an update, and they've made all my toons pretty by doing that. That's what they've done. And yeah, of course, I'm sure it's going to come in later. And by the time that's come in, people will probably be complaining about Worgen and Goblin and saying that they need an update, if only to remove the gosh darn sniffles from them.
I think the big thing, honestly, is in the facial animations for me. Like, because the Worgen and Goblin, they have like these really advanced face structures where they can actually like make facial expressions and everything. It's not as advanced as a Pandaren, but it's still pretty decent. And then you look at a Blood Elf, and it's pretty much just this the entire time, and that's only facial animation they're actually capable of. Like, look at the cutscenes from the end of Dragon Soul, where Thralls are like, "Oh my God, we've defeated Deathwing," and then Alex Straza walks up and goes, "Good work, you have defeated Deathwing. Here is your reward."
Almost like Stephen Hawking's or something.
Hey, at least they don't have that perpetual snarling face of the female Worgen. that face.
Well, there is that.
God.
All right, we're gonna move on. I'm teasing you guys. I got a couple of these bad boys. Gonna be giving these away, but probably in the new year, because I really want to just see if it's gonna be the end of the world, and I want them all to myself if we just blow up. No, but definitely keep an eye out. We're definitely gonna be giving away. But I got 3, but I'm totally keeping one. Screw that. I'm totally keeping one of these. Are you kidding? They sent 3. I'm totally. But so I'm going to give away 2 CEs and like 3 copies of Mr. Pandaria. Thanks for that. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna be like, oh, I'm giving away all 3, and then just 2 of them go out. No, we have all kinds of memorabilia and stuff in the office, and we need more. And that's like signed by the entire World of Warcraft dev team. I can't give one of those up. Maybe they. Oh, you know what? I'll just like throw stuff out. You could send Blizzard could send in. Send over one of the shards. Remember the shards from BlizzCon? The server shards they made into like plaques. Send one of those over. That would be awesome. I'll totally not give that away as well. All right.
Also send over Zarheim. Just send him over.
Yeah, just send him over.
In the office too.
Just FedEx him. Just send him to Gary.
Yeah. Hey, the Daily Blink got Christo, so...
Yeah, so unfair.
Hey, all right, let's go. Christo also took to the forums to hint at some potential new features on farming. His first up said, while some of this has to do with tuning, we are considering some improvements to the farm. We might need to adjust the numbers a bit to reduce, say, alluring over time, but we do want to make it feel that you need to tend to things regularly, even if you become more efficient in handling it. Perhaps we can consider allowing more crops to randomly grow without any obstacles or challenges, especially after you've proven your farming savvy. This just in, there's a new patch just for Colorado. You can now grow weed. Yes, you can now grow weed in your World of Warcraft farm. So Zarheim is, I don't know, lead farmer on that. No. First question. Are you guys keeping up on your farms? Do you care? Like, how are you? Do you guys like it? Totally doing it?
It's required for rating, man.
Oh man.
Doing it every day. No, I don't keep up with it all the time, but it's definitely something that I actually like the farming. It's relatively low key. It's something I can hop over, and I need to keep up with it every day, but I don't have to like run around all over creation and spend an hour doing it. I played that once. I thought it was boring. This is more Harvest Moon than Farmville, because there was actually like a storyline and everything that went along with it. But I don't mind it. I like it, and I would like to see more stuff, more upgrades for it. Like something that can reduce the chance of having to actually fight things would be great, because I hate fighting things in World of Warcraft.
You just grow weed and then just have a smoke out, and then they just be like, you don't have to fight anything.
Yeah.
Just be so peaceful.
Let's not fight anything, man.
Nothing. Olivia, do you tend the crops on the old farm there?
It's not required for PvP. It may be required for raiding, but it's not required for PvP, I'm afraid. I've done a bit. I've done a little bit of it. I kind of wanted to see what it was like. Like, I kind of wanted to see what everything was like. But kind of like the pet battles, I got to a certain point and I was like, yeah, I've got lots of people who want to do arenas with me. So, yeah, bye farm. And then I was like, you know, went back and I had a look at it again, and I'd kind of forgotten what I had to do, and I kind of lost interest in that point.
All right, and then Josh, so would you want to see more upgrades to the farm that would help deal with more with like, you know, the crop types and management?
Yeah, more of the farm story would be cool. More of the more stuff that I can buy, because right now you can get like a sprinkler and a bug zapper, and you can get like this plow that is actually kind of annoying. Sometimes I don't even use it because I have to like put it in my inventory and pull it out and deal. That's annoying. But
maybe they could add like, like Monsanto's like GMO, and you could like start genetically modifying your corn and stuff, and just creating mutations. That'd be great.
Can you grow pets? Can you grow pets yet?
Yes, you can actually. There's a seedling that you can grow. He's a pet. They should add more of those too. You can also like grow. You can grow portals now, but they're so exceptionally worthless that no one actually does.
Portals from where to where?
You can grow a portal to a random city. It's random which one you get. You can grow a portal to a random city in your farm, but you have to be at your farm to use it, and it's a one-time use consumable. So it's like, okay, I guess I'm going to Thunderbluff today.
Woohoo!
All right.
That's totally where I was shooting for.
Yeah.
Yeah, if they put more cool stuff in it, then people like me would do it.
What do you, as far as is it difficult or is it easy? Like how do you find the whole day-to-day stuff? I mean, because will this kill some of the gameplay aspects of it and actually make it too easy?
It's not so much that it's easy or difficult, it's just the amount of time that you're having to put into it. And if they like put something in all the time that's like, okay, now here's this button I can click that gets rid of all of the wiggling crops, and here's the button I can click that gets rid of all of the wild crops, and so on. If they put in something for all of those so that you never actually had to tend any of your crops yourself, then that would actually probably be a little bit too far. But something I like the idea that he put out there, something along the lines of just making it less likely to get those, so that because like some days I get like I'll plant, because I have two characters with a fully maxed out farm now with all 16 plots, and some days I will plant a whole row of crops and I will get 10 of the like wild vines that just each one of those you have to pop it up and you have to click a button a whole bunch, and sometimes it starts to slam you on the ground, so you got to click another button when that happens. Each one of those takes probably about 30 seconds or so to actually do. And when you have this giant row of those that you've got to go through, it's like, oh, this is going to take so much longer than the times when, I just get a whole bunch of the wiggling crops so I can just AoE all these little things down or something like that. I don't know. It would be nice to have something to reduce the chances of them, but I think making it so that they just never happen or that you don't ever have to worry about it, that would probably be a little bit too far.
You just got to get farm hands. You got to get some workers.
Yeah.
You got to get some NPCs to tend that farm.
You can hire farm hands, but they don't do anything. So maybe they could work on that too.
Because they're all busy smoking the weed. That's why. All right. Last up this week, the Black Market Auction House actually has some unique items popping up on it. So check this out: the Sun Loot of the Phoenix Ring. You might recognize this as the guitar used by one of the members from the Elite Tauren Chieftains. And it does actually have an effect, doesn't it? It's got, what is it? It has an effect called, you can bust out face melter.
Mm-hmm.
Whoop, wrong guy. That's later. Oops, sorry. That was from the private collection. Sorry. But yes, it has, you can bust out face melter with it. And aside from that, it also happens to be relatively decent two-handed axe. Item level 483. It's not really best in slot, not even for like Raid Finder. But the most interesting thing here is this is the first time it's ever been available. It's totally unique to the Black Market Auction House. What's actually, what do you guys think? I mean, it sounds like finally a good move. I think unique items in the Black Market Auction House is kind of a cool thing. It kind of gives it real purpose.
Yeah, I've been pushing for unique items on the Black Market Auction House for a while, like ever since they first started talking about it. And it was like, oh, we're going to put heroic raid gear on there. I was like, why would you do that? No, put something unique up there, something that you can only get through the Black Market Auction House. Because isn't that supposed to be the point? Like, this is the only way you can get this. And I guess like they've had the old school like tier 3 and stuff up on there in the past. I think I saw a servo arm there a while ago too, just like old Naxxramas drops. But something that's never been anywhere else before. Something that you can say, I bought this on the Black Market Auction House, and I'm the only one that has it, because this is the only way to get it. I think that's pretty cool. There's only been like 50 of these things even anywhere so far. It's nuts.
That's something that's something to point out too, is it's only popped up on a few servers, right? So it's not even like every server has seen one yet, which is weird. Why is that? Like,
Well, I think they wanted to, like, because obviously the black market auction house, in terms of what it can bring up, is random, and it's always been different on each servers. And so it is kind of, I mean, it could be really frustrating if you just really want one of these things. Like, I would really like to get one of these things. I have an okay stockpile of gold saved up, and I've been saving my gold like crazy ever since this thing started popping up. I'm like, man, if that comes up on the black market auction house, I am buying it. I will ninja the guild bank if I have to. No one else can say
running
anything
around
about
with
that.
this thing and just be like PvP power.
Yeah, exactly. But
I think
it could be really, really frustrating though if it just never comes up on Eridar, and I'm like, well, I never even had a shot at it.
You're SOL,
That would
brother.
make me sad.
it's come up on my server already, and I don't think it actually sold. I think it was just like people weren't that interested in it. But I agree with Josh. I think it's great. I think it's really cool that there's stuff that's coming up that actually is only available on the black market auction house. I think it's kind of less than ideal when stuff comes up that used to be available in the game and is now, like, you can no longer get it via the normal gameplay method unless you are possessed of a time machine allowing you to go back to when the raid was current. But I think it's really cool that it's available on the black market auction house as something that's only for the black market auction house. I think if they put stuff in that was available through gameplay, they should re-add the gameplay method to get it as well, and so that you don't have to have the gold or the time machine to get the thing. That they
A
put
hot
the
tub time machine. What a hot
yeah,
tub.
exactly. When they put the Raise the Blade Proto Drake in there, my initial reaction, which was in the same patch as they put the Sunlute of the Phoenix King in there, my reaction was, oh well, they should totally re-add the achievement that gets you that to do it through the raid at the same time. But I think with the Sunlute of the Phoenix King, I think it's really fun. I want to know if it's transmoggable. I want to know if I can turn every two-handed axe into that, because I kind of think it would be. But it might fall into the sort of silly category.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, the Arcanite Ripper is transmoggable.
Yeah, true.
I have that one too. I just have a collection. Every important two-hander, I have one. So, yeah.
So, yeah. All right, we're going to get to let's do some viewer questions. But first, I want to tell you guys really quickly about an amazing deal. You got only hours left. Go, 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 go. You got a couple hours left for you guys watching the live show before the end of the world. Rift Storm Legion is on sale right now. 25% off. 1 day sale only. Right now, if you guys are watching live, you can pick up Storm Legion. Little Christmas sale. 1 day only. Head on over to riftgame.com or stormlegion.com. You save 25% on the Storm Legion. Standard edition is only $30. For current players, $37.50. If you never even played Rift, that's all you got to do. $37.50. You get the game and the whole deal. If you guys have not checked it out, you really, 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 I think it was I'm already seeing some best expansion of the year awards going out to Storm Legion. It's just a phenomenal. I think it was Massively. I think Massively gave them. I could be wrong, but I think it was Massively gave them expansion of 2012. So best expansion of 2012. It's jam packed, and you guys have heard me week after week talking about dimensions. How much I love dimensions. Well, we started a little thing here on Gamebreaker TV called Tuesday's Top Dimensions. Episode 2 just went out this week. Go on over to gamebreaker.tv and go watch it, because I profile 2 dimensions each week, and you guys get to vote on the favorite one and can win a t-shirt as well. So don't miss that. Go over to riftgame.com. Check out Storm Legion. It's an awesome, awesome expansion. We know you play the World of Warcraft. It's okay. You can play some other games, and this one kicks ass.
Believe it or not, you can play more than one video game.
Unbelievable.
Other games are available.
And it's really good. No, it's such
talk.
a kick-ass expansion. It's just chock full. Let's do some viewer questions. So if you guys have viewer questions, of course, you can send them in to submit@gamebreaker.tv, or keep an eye on our Facebook page. Usually the day of the show, we usually ask for questions on there as well. And don't forget, we love video questions. We got some of those coming up today, finally. So video questions, post them up on YouTube. Send the link over to submit@gamebreaker.tv, and if they're good, we'll play them on the show. All right, first up this week from Mr. Stephen Rode. Says, with the talk of changes to rep coming soon, do you think Blizzard should put something in like rested rep? Maybe if you log out near certain NPCs, you can become rested for rep, just like for experience. What do you think?
I actually think that'd be a great idea. Right now, one of the problems that people are having with dailies is the need to do them every day. which comes from a factor of not having any sort of like a catch-up mechanism. There's no way to, if you miss a day, that's rep that you just never get. So I think something like that, as long as it's a relatively low pool of bonus rep that you can get from that, or something that you would earn relatively slowly, I think that would actually be a great way to say, okay, well, listen, I can just never do my dailies on Sunday. It's just never going to happen because I'm always busy on Sunday. So now I can earn that rep back over maybe the next couple of days as long as I do my dailies then as well. I think something like that would be pretty cool. It's a good idea.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of like I'm trying to think of like a negative to this. Like I'm trying to think of like there's something like, because it's almost like, how did they not think of this? Like they put rested XP in, like it kind of like, I can't believe like it's kind of brilliant. I'm watching chat room and they're just going like, WTF? Yeah, that sounds like a good idea.
Yeah, totally. Stephen Ray, a good idea, man. Really good idea. And it's why haven't they thought of this before? As long as there's a safe place where I can log out and, you know, leave my character chilling where they're not going to come in and be having their head eaten by a bug, then that's fantastic. What could possibly be a downside for this? I can't think of any downsides. Get your notebooks out, guys. Write that one down. I mean, it might be technically weird. Like, how do you actually implement it? Who do you give the rep bonuses to? But like, I don't think logging out near the NPC is like, oh, I took a nap next to this guy, so now he likes me more.
Kev Lee, bring that up in the next board meeting.
Yeah, the Claxi have a Hearthstone in their sort of, what's it called? Claxi vests. They have a Hearthstone thing there, so maybe they could turn that into an inn where you can get rested, and if you set yourself up in the Claxi vest inn for the night, you get a bonus on your Claxi rep.
Honestly,
do an equivalent thing for the Shadow Pan, for the Golden Lotus, for the other guys, etc., etc.
Honestly, I don't know that it would be a bad idea to implement something like that just across the board for all reps at once. Like, if I just haven't done my Cloud Serpent dailies in a while, maybe I just get a bonus when I come back and start doing those again. So it's like, cool. I think that'd be nice. It wouldn't even have to necessarily be enough to earn you back all of the rep that you get, like, if you missed out on an entire day's worth of dailies. It doesn't even necessarily need to be that much. Just like a little welcome back bonus sort of thing. So like maybe the first daily that you turn in, you get double rep from it or something like that. Even anything like that, just to make players feel like they don't necessarily have to do every single day's dailies, but also still have it be more effective to do them all every day. I think that'd work out nice.
Yeah. I think it definitely has to be less effective to not do your dailies. That's kind of got to be the case, that you don't get so much back that you were like, yay, I'm going to skip a day. But I mean, if you were doing the dailies day in, day out, it would be really nice to know that it didn't matter as much if you skipped a day. And I really like the idea of what you just said, of going back and saying, hey, we haven't seen you for a while. We kept this on the shelf for you. Have some extra rep on us. Love you.
Have a drink on us. All right, next up from Serge Butanev. I think I got that right. Butanev. Says, with Christmas right around the corner, what NPC would you give a present to? What would it be? And why? Olivia.
What NPC would I give a present to? That's a good question. I think I'd go and find the dragon aspects like Alex Straza and give them a jacket. Those girls must be freezing in those little outfits. Poor things, honestly. Like the thong and lace cape combo. And other than that...
Not exactly what you would generally recommend someone to wear when they're heading into Dragonblight, hanging out on top of a structure.
Exactly. Maybe it's just because they've got to be real stretchy for when they transform into dragons. Maybe that's it.
What about you, Josh?
I would give something to Garrosh. I would give him one of those like giant tubs of lube that you can buy off of like Amazon or something, so that he can finally get that stick out of his ass.
Oh,
tell you what, I would
give
Garrosh...
going somewhere completely different with that, Josh.
I would give Garrosh Zarheim and solve all the Horde problems in one fell swoop, because then they could like
just
chill out together, be so relaxed. It'd be fun for them both.
I would give Metzen, because Metzen is an NPC. I'd give Metzen the Christmas mount from Star Wars: The Old Republic, the $18 mount that shoots snow. It's god awful. Yeah, I'd give him that.
Why do you keep reminding me of reasons to not like Star Wars?
That's what I'm here for, bro. That's what I'm here for. All right, so like I said, we've got 2 video questions. This first one up is from Realthis Killdog. Audio's a little bit hard to hear. I'm going to try and crank this a little bit. And hopefully you guys can hear it. Check it out.
Hey guys, Realtus Killdog here, representing bad players. Don't you think bad players have a bad rap in World of Warcraft? I mean, what is a bad player? Hath not a bad player hands, face, eyes, nose? When you kick us, do we not scream? When you ninja us, do we not cry? And when you deny us loot, do we not go on the legendary show and make a QQ video question? And yet, we still have a bad rap. But a line must be drawn here, this far, no farther, and I will make them pay for what they've done. I know. I can make a video series helping bad players become better players so that pretty soon we'll be the ones kicking you. What do you guys think? Are you with me?
I'm with you. I am with him. Start a cult. I don't know what. As long as you're not going to make me drink Kool-Aid, I'm in. I'm totally with Real Thoughts. I love this guy. Do bad players get a bad rap in World of Warcraft? How about every game? How about that happens in every game?
I mean, it's true that people tend to be a little bit meaner to players that don't know what's going on than they should be. But they get a bad rap because they're bad. That's what it means. Come on, man.
No, but I think sometimes it's not. I think what he's getting is sometimes it's not really the truth though all the time. Like, come on, you play League of Legends, man. You get in there and it's like you get screamed at. You could be like one of the best players. You're probably getting screamed at. Like everybody gets screamed at. Like everybody points fingers and blames everybody else, especially if you're not playing with a group that you don't know.
Yeah. It's definitely like to me. There's a difference between someone who just doesn't know the information that they need to have, like just it's never come up or whatever, because it is kind of, it's not like when you log into World of Warcraft and you start up a new character, it's like, you should go watch a guide. You should go read like Elitist Jerks or something like that so that you can know how to do that. No, I definitely get that much. I think there is a point where you kind of have to look at people and say, okay, no, you're just bad because you're not trying. That's why you're bad at this point. There's like 2 classifications of bad players at that point. And I run into enough of the not trying ones as a guild master and raid leader that maybe that's sapped away a little bit of my sympathy at this point. Where I have someone where I'm just like, okay, you actually just stood there in the fire for a good 30 seconds and then died. What is wrong with you?
See, I always have this kind of really probably relating from not raid leading, and when I do BGs or arenas, I'm also not kind of in charge of them. But I always have this sort of feeling that anyone can be a good player if they just put enough effort and enough time in. Like, that you can actually become a good player. But maybe that's just me being like seeing the world through my rose-colored spectacles. So I'm much more the sort of protector of the innocent here, and I get annoyed with people who give people a hard time for not knowing stuff. But then on the other hand, if I'm healing people who do stand in every single fire available, I will leap of faith them every 10 seconds, every time it's a cooldown.
I guess it depends on the environment too, because like if I'm in LFR and somebody's like sitting on the bottom of the damage meters, I'm like, whatever, it's LFR. It's supposed to be for that type of player. If I'm in a raid and somebody, like if I'm running a raid team, like if I log in and it's like our raid group and we're heading over to the Heart of Fear to work on a heroic boss or something, and somebody doesn't know how one of the mechanics work, then I just kind of go, you were supposed to look that up. You were supposed to know this before we got here. Why am I wasting time explaining this to you at that point?
Olivia, maybe you can give me some help after the show, because I don't know, people keep yelling. They keep just yelling keyboard turner in chat, and I don't know what that means. So maybe you can help me out later after the show.
Gary's a clicker. He's a clicker.
He's a clicker. Bad him.
Kill it. Kill
bad
it.
him with fire.
Keyboard turner. I don't know what that means. All right, here's one from Nate. Nate.
Hey, Legendary. This is Nate from Texas. Couldn't do the couch. Can't do this. Okay, here I am. All right. Everyone's talking about new character models. but no one's talking about the new character models with old armor stretched over them. Do you think they'll look terrible? Or does this become a slippery slope? Upgrade one thing and everything else has to follow. Well, anyways, I've got tons of polygon and this guy has none, so I'm gonna do a dance. And it's gonna go like this. Polygons! Yeah, got the polygons. Polygons was what I got, and yeah. You ain't got no polygons. I got all the polygons. My body. Polygons all over my body. Oh, yeah. Polygons. I can't breathe. You're fat. I can't breathe. You're fat. I can't. Yeah, polygons.
All right, so from dates, when they update character models, are the old armor models going to look weird? What do you think, Olivia?
I don't think so, no. I think having seen some of the old transmogs, I mean, one of the first things I did when I got one of my pandas up and running was I took some of my favorite transmogs, which are, in my case, almost all Burning Crusade transmogs, and put them onto the panda. And they didn't look weird at all. I thought they looked great. I'm sure there will be exceptions to this, however, some of them will look awful and some of them will look great. And I don't know, but I have questions for the maker of this video. That was an awesome video. He was holding a human.
He was holding a human.
It was so cool.
Josh, what do you think?
Polygons! That was fantastic. But yeah, I agree with what Olivia said. They'll fix it.
Can we just watch that video?
I got no polygons. I got all the polygons. My body. Polygons all over my body.
Polygons all over my body. Olivia D. Grace, follow her on the Twitter at Olivia D. Grace, contributing editor right here at GameBreaker.tv. Come over and watch all her great stuff right here, right here. Chat bubbles with Olivia D. Grace. All our editorials, write-ups right here on GameBreaker.tv. Don't miss them. Can't breathe.
Better camera quality.
Polygons! All right, bring this back. All right. Josh Allen, a.k.a. Allure. Polygons! Yeah, got the polygons!
You ain't got no polygons. I got all the polygons.
You ain't got no polygons.
Follow Josh Allen on the Twitter at Devilore. Of course, watch Legendary.
I was going to point at it, but it's not down there.
I'll fix it in the new year, I swear. We kind of need to get rid of Arth's eyes as well, because we kind of changed all the graphics, but we haven't changed the lower third, so I'll get on that with New Year's resolution. You can follow me at Gary Gannon, follow GameBreaker TV, GameBreaker TV. Guys, oh, really? Seriously? Polygons! Merry Christmas!
Yeah! Merry Christmas!
This is the show before Merry Christmas. Mm-hmm. Guys, thanks so much for watching. It's been another great year. We will have a show next week, so it'll be post-Christmas before the new year. But I hope you guys have a safe, great, healthy holiday.
And make all your loots be epic.